What up? It's the last one for now in this series at the moment. It's Wheeljack. To the box, the box, the box, the box. Who gives a shit about the box? Doo. It's a box, it's a box. It's got pictures and shit. Who cares? Eat. Here we go with the only movie verse Wheeljack I have, because if I recall, he was like called Q or something, and he had a really shitty toy in like Dark of the Moon because he was like cut from the film or something. Who gives a shit? This is proper Cybertronian Wheeljack, and it is a very cool robot. So let's get the comparison out of the way. Here he is with Earthrise WJ. Yep. He's very much Wheeljack, but slightly different. I appreciate that his vehicle mode feet are on the back of his feet now. Gives him just a slightly different look, meaning he has actual feet now. And definitely in love with that head. It's definitely Wheeljack, but like G1, but just slightly different. I actually like the fact that his mouth plate is not huge, covering it's there, but it's subtle. And those all those angles, especially the ears, I love. No offense to Mr. OGWJ, but he looks a bit stumped. Like I don't know, rounded. I don't know. Just it gives him a whole different vibe. That chest, very nice. Yeah, I guess it's confirmed now that Wheeljack's no longer just bright blanched white. He's this sort of creamy off-white color. I guess he gives him a slightly different look compared to Ratchet or good old Brawn. Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper, you just lie there and be dead like you did in the movie or in Prime or any of your appearances that are not the War for Cybertron video games. And Blitzwing. Still the only Bumblebee movie figure I have that actually appeared on Earth. Like, I don't have a Bumblebee, I don't have the Optimus, who's amazing. I don't have a bastard wife or violent husband, dropkick, or shatter and dropkick. And yeah. This guy does have one thing before we talk articulation. I guess you could call it a rude mode, but it's totally intentional for transformation. If you just do that, and then if you want to make it even longer, you pop a Viagra, or you do that. And yeah, there you go. I guess he's really happy to see you. Wheeljack, more like Slapjack. Let's put his cockpit back where it belongs. I didn't even realize, but Earthrise Wheeljack does the same thing, only it's more, I guess it's more like a crotch shield. It's a chastity belt. Just, a dumb, rude gag. But anything else? He is extremely clean. Like, the kibble is only kept to a minimum. Like, the panels on the backs of his hands. And that's really all that I could call kibble, because the rest of it really adds to the look of the robot. And obviously, he's got a generic black rifle, a good old BBC. That's big black cannon. Get your mind out of the gutter. At least try. But what else? I really like the look of him. Like I dig how this guy looks. So posability wise, head is on a ball joint, very nice range. It can go all kinds of directions, up and down. He can look at you like, what the fuck did you just say? And good old swivel. The shoulders, ball jointed. Go that far out. Rotate all the way. One tiny nitpick about the robot mode. If I have to critique these panels, they sort of tab into his nape there, but not securely, so they just pop out with no effort, which is in one way great because they won't break, but also a bit kind of, I wish they tabbed in more securely. But you do have a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, very deep bend, and this panel is articulated. It can go from here to here. Ooh. Let's see that again. Bop. Boop. So much motion. And it unfortunately removes the wrist joint, which I don't see. It's kind of hollow behind the panel, so I guess they didn't have room for it. But they did have room for a waist swivel. If you even get his plate out of the way, you can go a full 360. Here's a thing, I'm like a little bit of a slight dichotomy. Like, these ball joints feel nice and smooth, like, and tight. But the hip ball joints, while not actually being loose, they have a much more loose feeling. Like, especially, yeah, this one. Like, it droops from right, like, well, it feels loose. Well, it is kind of loose, but it's still tight enough to hold position. But yes, he does have full range. Decent spread. So not quite full range. But he does have a thigh swivel, which exposes some nice gray mechanical detail. And he's got a knee bend, just about 90 degrees. And his ankles are kind of an annoying thing. They are ball jointed, but like, they're frustratingly tight and hard to move because there's a ball joint and a hinge. The hinge is for transformation, so like, it can go backwards. It can kind of go forward if you detransform him. It can go all the way. But like, I don't feel like I'm moving the ball joint unless I'm like rotating that way. And like, the pivot is not very much. But like, yeah, it's this one, the one that it feels like it's, I don't know, paint stuck, something. Like, the ball joint is like harder to move than it should be. So this is a very nice Wheeljack toy, all in all. I kind of wish we got this toy like in Siege. Like, if there was a Siege Wheeljack. How come there wasn't, like, almost every other character in Siege got a release in Earthrise. like Optimus Prime, Ironhide, Ratchet, Prowl, blah blah, the Nissan Trio, blah blah blah, Megatron, Starscream. How could Wheeljack should have had an Earthrise release? No, a Siege release. Because Earthrise Wheeljack is in Earthrise, Kingdom, Legacy. Fucking, I'm surprised they haven't managed to shove it into the Studio series as well. Like, that toy, this one is so hard to sell that they will repackage it a million times because I guess they just have way too many of them. But this guy, I don't know. It's up between him and Prime Wheeljack for possibly my favorite Wheeljack designs. But to get my favorite part of this toy, we have to transform him, which no, I have to transform them too. So we'll be back after these lack of messages. But just imagine there's a commercial. All right. So for transformation, you can start by rotating his wings down. Did I mention his wings are articulate? Because they are. Look, they go wee. And okay, we'll start by flipping up the chest, flipping it all the way out, and then unpeg the shoulders so the neck can hinge, and you have to rotate the head. Well, it doesn't matter which way we do it, because one annoying thing about the transformation is there is going to be part collision, but you want to rotate the arms into the chest, like as free as possible. You can tab them together, and we'll leave them like that for now. So what do you want to do? We can open the shin armor, rotate it up, do the same on both sides, and we come to one of the parts that is quite clashy. We have to get to the calf tires, or the shin tire, whatever, the tires on his legs. You have to take this panel, rotate it up, so it sort of, oh, no, you have to rotate the waist. I completely forgot about the weight. So now it's on the right side, and it'll just tab in, and then this panel will come down like that, and the foot will just fold in. So the same thing on the other side. Rotate that up so it tabs in nice and securely over and down. And at that point, we can tab them together right here and bring down. Oh, nope. They're misaligned. There we go. Bring down this, and it should just tab right into place. And the head holds up. And here's one part, the main kind of annoying part for me. That no matter what you do, the arms have trouble basically going in like that. You have to double hinge them. And either way, it gets a bit clashy and kind of, but here is, flip up his Autobot symbol. Because on Cybertron, you don't want to see that. Really. The planet of all machines. You don't, like you'd figure on Earth, you don't want to, but anyway. As sort of fiddly and like Not really the best. Sort of part clashy. Things still don't really. I freaking love this vehicle mode. Let's get the comparison right away. So much better than the Square. Get out of here. Ooh. I really like how sleek and curvy the car mode is, almost to a point with the little points right there on either side of the green. For some reason, the windshield doesn't really want to tab in super well because it is quite a bit of clear plastic there with the backs of the feet, like the whole feet being clear plastic and the windshield being clear plastic. I don't know if it can survive, but it is a very nice Cybertronian car. And it rolls decently well. Yeah. Yep. Tiny bit of articulation, if you want to call it that. These panels go from here to here. Twitching. Kind of like what I do once in a while in the week. I twitch on twitch.tv/thatweirdcollector. Anyway, there's not really much revealed. I guess we get a better look at the cockpit. It does look a little bit too long if you just go by like where a person would sit right there, and like it goes all the way up. But I still still really like the look. As for weapon storage, it's kind of a bit awkward. You have those two ports right there to fit that tab, and you can only use really one of them effectively like that, because the other one will just push it out. I I don't know. I think Cliff Jumper there's the best weapon integration of all these Studio Series Bumblebee movie figures. In for size comparison, there's Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper. This toy is Bumblebee in yellow, but when it's in yellow, there you go. You have her lovely Brawn. Ratchet. Oh, and maybe Blitzwing is also up there for really good weapon storage. Do, 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 do. And if you want to complain, I guess his arms are visible right there. His transformed legs are right there. But I do kind of wish that his head could actually sit comfortably. It almost does. When he's like to be actually looking through the windshield, give him a case of X-Brawn head. And it does if you put it sideways. Kind of hard to see behind that translucent plastic. But no, the only place it actually locks in securely is with the head rotated back. All in all, I enjoy this figure quite a bit. Robot mode is awesome. This vehicle mode is pretty awesome. Just the transformation, it's not the worst ever. It's really good. It's just minor little things, like especially with these panels, trying to get them back in the right position in robot mode, mainly going from vehicle to robot. But overall, I think this has been a really good run of figures. I think this whole wave of Bumblebee movie figures. Do I still? I'll probably get Soundwave at some point. I don't know when. He's not the biggest priority because that being vehicle mode. But can we get more like? Can we get deluxe class Decepticons, please? Like, can the next wave be more bad guys than just Soundwave and a tiny Shockwave? Also, how would you guys feel if I did like a triple Shockwave video on the Dark of the Moon, the Studio Series Dark of the Moon, and the Studio Series Bumblebee? Because I've been floating that idea in my brain for a while. I want to know if you guys would be up for it, and I'm trying to think of clever ways to do it. You know what? That's gonna be it for Wheeljack. This whole wave, these three guys, I'd say I'd recommend all three of them. Really, there's very there's not really any glaring flaws in them. There are a few subtle things, but they're all very good Transformers. So, what's next? Well, I feel my spidey sense tingling. Until next time, keep it weird. Bye bye.